What up, guys? Mad Scientist 7890 here. This is going to be a video response to amcn1 about his video he just did on angles. Now, I left some comments on his thing. I didn't feel like I fully explained myself on what I thought. You know, what I don't understand is angle schmangle, bangle, wrangle, dangle. Okay, it doesn't really matter. To me personally, if a match is good, a match is good. There's other elements of a match that make it good. You know, a lot of things don't make sense with matches. Sometimes matches are just good just to be good. You know, if something happens in the match that didn't make sense to the storyline, unless it's something so blatantly obvious, you know, unless somebody totally dissects the match and really goes in depth with how it is, it really does no harm. You know, I think the one thing that he did was he reviewed the Triple Threat from WrestleMania 20 and didn't give it a classic rating, you know, 4.5, 4 3/4 star rating, because a lot of people's views on that was, oh, we're going to give this match a really high rating just because Benoit won, just because the emotion. That doesn't even matter. That's secondary. I know that that's what happened, but what I really want to speak about with this situation is, how is that match not good? I mean, I understand your situation is where you say it's spotty at times, and you know, this and that, and certain things happen, but you have to take everything into account. The match, yeah, it was good. The match was good. You know, and this happened with the Night of Champions that, you know, you did a review and you said that the main event of that was CM Punk and Triple H was a dud. I absolutely disagree with that. I really think from the time that they wrestled all the way up until the time that crap happened at the end, the in-between thing where they actually wrestled was good. You can't discount a match being good just because something happened at the end. You know, I'm not, okay, I can take some maybe a little bit off, but I don't take a match that I would consider 3 3/4, maybe 4 stars quality, at 3.5, 3 3/4, somewhere in there, quality of that match, and just dud it just because of that ending. No, I don't think that's it at all. You know what? I think that I saw that you said you gave Davey Richards versus Eddie Edwards 2 3/4, 3 stars, something like that. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. What is it that did not make sense? It doesn't matter if it made sense. The match was very, very, very good. The quality of the match was very, very good. I don't care if it's a storyline or anything like that. Doesn't matter. The main focus is the match. Everything building up to it is to enhance the match. If when the bell rings, the match, you discount everything that happens with the storyline beforehand. From bell to bell, if the match is good, the match is good. You know, I've seen some of the matches that are on your top 10. I am a Japanese wrestling fan. I watch Japanese wrestling, but I'm not going to be completely biased towards Japanese wrestling and say, you know, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Hiroki Goto was better than that match for some spectacular storyline angle or something special happening. Yeah, there was a storyline. Goto could not beat Tanahashi. Tanahashi's the ace of, you know, New Japan. If that angle was to happen in America, in like WWE or something, with Cena, people would hate that. You think people would still be hanging on by now, you know, if Punk didn't beat Cena? If 5 pay-per-views in a row, Punk did not beat Cena, it would not make any sense. That angle makes no sense with Goto and Tanahashi, that he just continues to lose and cannot beat him. In America, if that was to happen with CM Punk, they would have gave up after like 3, and they would have went on to something else, which I guess you could say is uncreative on WWE or American wrestling, which is maybe why you watch Japanese wrestling. But to say that, you know, something that happens in a match, you know, something has to be a false finish, or something has to be a finish like this to create believability and blah 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 and blah 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 and all this, you know, unless it's blatantly obvious, something blatantly obvious, it really isn't that big of a deal. I think people dissect and pick apart matches so much My one thing is botching, and I'll know right away when there's a botch. But when something with the storyline's different or something in a match is different, if I'm engrossed into the match, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't personally matter to me. That's why I personally think that the triple threat from WrestleMania was better than Hiroki, Goto, and Tanahashi from this year. Davey Richards versus Eddie Edwards was better than Hiroki Goto and Tanahashi from this year. That's a good match. I've seen that. That's one of the better Japanese matches this year. That's a good Japanese match. The storyline was there. The match quality was there. But you have to look at it as in, you're accounting, a storyline and stuff not making sense. If that was the case, then a lot of matches, WWE, TNA, Japanese, everywhere, a lot of things would not make any sense. It's easy to follow Japanese wrestling for a lot of people personally because they don't have a lot of extravagant, big, spectacular angles. You would never see what is going on right now in WWE in Japan, which, okay, some will consider that insulting your intelligence, but, a basic storyline of this guy hates this guy, or this team hates this team, or this guy can't beat this guy and continues to try to beat him and he can't, doesn't matter. I don't watch Japanese wrestling to follow up on the angles or any of that. I watch Japanese wrestling or shows because the matches are good. The quality of the match from bell to bell is good. The angle means nothing to me when it comes to Japanese wrestling because, one, I don't speak Japanese. I have no idea what's going on. I could look it up and find out. But it's really not going to matter. At the end of the day, every professional wrestling match is from bell to bell, is the match, the end quality match. Not what's external, not what happens before and after. I understand that all makes sense, but also saying that emotion or whatever doesn't add or say that a match is good. It does. Star rating wise, I think it does for a lot of people. I think Flair versus Shawn Michaels, to me personally, not one of my favorite matches, but a lot of people really like that and gave it a good star rating because it being Flair's last match, being who it is in the match, that situation. Same thing with, Rock and Hogan. Match was not that great, but a lot of people gave it a good rating because of who it was and what it was there for. People talk about Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan in the main event being one of the biggest spectacles of all time in wrestling. Match was not good, but they talk about it being one of the biggest, greatest main events ever of, a WrestleMania pay-per-view just because of what it was. I think that's true. I think that is true. You can't discount that. But like I said, to me personally, with the angle and all this building up, I don't think it really truly matters. I don't know if I guess you can say it makes you uneducated as a wrestling fan, or you don't know this or you don't know that. I think people just go into detail too much about just how things are, meant to be. To me, as long as the match is good, it has a storyline somewhat, and it's not too difficult to follow, and then, there's not a ridiculous amount of botching or anything like that, or just a horrible botch or anything. It's not bad. You look at the match first, the angle secondary. Cutting a match like the triple threat at WrestleMania and saying it's not a classic because it was a spot fest, but then the storyline leading up and the storyline of him not having false hope of him continually trying to win and losing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It would add, it would make it better, but the match itself is still really good. You can't just discount and cut things completely out or off because of that reason. It goes back to like what I said about Night of Champions against CM Punk and Triple H. I know there's other people that feel the same way, and there's other people that are on the side of people who absolutely hated it, who discounted everything that happened the first 15 minutes of that match and gave it a dud or like a 1.5 or 2.5 stars or something like that because of the ending. The ending was bad, but you don't just, that's like, I can't even think of a good metaphor for that. That's literally like, I don't even know what you would say that would be. it's basically just saying, you know, you go through all this trouble to do something, and then when you get to the finish line, you don't win. You know what I mean? Like, it's like racing, and you're in first place, and then when you get there, you can't win because of what happened at the, like, I don't know, you know, I don't understand. You know, that's me personally, and I think that the match is what really hooks you. The angle is secondary, the emotion is secondary, but it adds to the match, and the match is what's first. Period. That's the way I see it. You know, and I've seen a lot of ratings that you've done on matches that make no sense for whatever reason. I'm just like, why is this match? You've Mark Henry versus Randy Orton from Night of Champions 3 3/4, but you gave the main event a dud. I just, and then the same thing, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it's just your personal bias because you're, you know, a pro wrestling fan, in Japanese matches and this and that, you know, in the drama in the ring, whatever that, you know, the match at WrestleMania 20 didn't have drama. The crowd wasn't there. You got to take it as a whole and think about it from there. There's a lot of matches that are like that. It's a triple threat match. I mean, it happens in a lot of triple threat matches. It's a spot fest. You would be going into it and thinking, yeah, that's what's going to happen anyway. I just want to say this video, I'm not bashing of any kind. I actually enjoy your Japanese reviews. You know, I think that they're good. I just, sometimes the reviews and ratings that you don't make sense to me. Maybe because you're really just picking things apart too hardcore. I don't know what it is, but some of the ratings, I just feel like are personal preference and a personal bias. That's me, just my opinion. Like I said, you wanted some feedback. This is a video I just wanted to do here. Thought I didn't get out really what I meant in my comments, or didn't really explain, you know, what I wanted in full in the comments I left on the video. So this is my video, my response to amcn1 about angles and stuff like that. So like I said, leave some comments or anything like that if you agree, disagree, whatever. And thanks, guys.